God's changed my ways, change my ways, those evil ways. But I can't my evil way.
So we got 2 farms in North Carolina that we're really going to focus on as far as food plots and planting go. One farm is an old family farm that's up the road, and we hunted it last year a little bit and really saw some potential. So this year I decided to go in, take the tractor, knock some trees down, cut some bushes off and stuff, and see if we couldn't clear us out a food plot. Alright guys, as you can see, the food plot's starting to come together. It is going to be a slow roll, but I'm going to keep knocking down trees and keep opening this place up. The more I get opened up, the better it's going to be. So I'll probably go another 20-30 yards down through there. This will make a dang nice little food plot right here. This is in a nice thick area. We had a blind right here last year, but it's going to be awesome. So the spot we decided to make a food plot in is an old shrubbery field that's overgrown with trees and bushes and stuff. We were able to get the tractor in there, get it cleared out and opened up really good. The first thing that we needed to do in this spot was lay down some cover because I didn't want it washing away. It was still early in the summer. It's still too early to plant our fall plots. So we went in first thing and just overseeded with some clover just to kind of hold the ground. Then the next thing we done was come in with some lime and some fertilizer. I'm out here in one of our food plots that we've built this year, and I'm coming in here today. We put out a little bit of bait, but I'm bringing some lime and some fertilizer to put out on this plot. As you guys can see, this plot's been cleared for a while and it's got a little bit of natural growth coming back, but we just scattered some clover over top of it whenever we cleared this place, and none of the clover really took. And the ground in this area, I don't know if you guys can see it, it's got a lot of red clay in it and stuff like that. It's pretty poor ground. It was an old shrubbery field. It's been dug through quite a bit. So what I'm gonna do, I'm out here today, gonna put some lime and fertilizer down, see if we can't get a little bit of nutrients in the soil and get this ready. We're gonna plant it here in about 2 weeks. So hopefully this will help it. We've got some rain coming through this week. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this lime and fertilizer down, give it time to get pushed into the ground real good, and then we'll come through, disc this up, till it up, and plant it, and hopefully we'll get a little better growth than this.
Alright, so while Shane's working on some of his food plots, I go ahead and direct my attention to some of my spots. The first spot I'm working on is a big acorn ridge. It's a spot where I chopped the doe last year that it got away. This spot hasn't been really a food plot spot, so to speak, the last couple years. Normally it's just been a spot where I go in, put out corn and Big and J and see how it does. But last year I decided I was going to put a throw and grow plot out with some clover and some other grasses, and it worked really well. So this year I decided may try something new, may tear the ground up, start from scratch. But first step, before I can do any of that, I've got to get in here, get it all weeded and mowed down. But while I was doing that, getting everything knocked down, kind of made a discovery. The clover that we put in the year before is still there and in pretty good health up under all this other growth. So that's when I decided the best bet would be, instead of going in here and starting from scratch, tearing everything up, best option would be is to just maintain that clover, keep a good green food source in here, and of course put some Big and J and corn out to keep a good inventory and keep the deer coming in year round. So ideally what we're thinking here, way over there is where we had our blind last year, and we noticed that where we're standing here was the transition area where deer come through and broke and come down this gully. So to fix that, we're going to try and put a tree stand or something here about in that tree there to where we have vision of that side of the ridge, have our Big and J put out here, but that way there'll be somewhat of a break for deer to come off our trail, which is right there, as they break down into this gully. Shane went down there to get together. We're going to get the Big and J put up, get the Tacticam put up, see what's coming in here. Alright, so we're back up here where we was baiting earlier this year, and it's been a really good spot so far. We've had a lot of good deer coming in. Big open ridge, but we got one problem. Our friends are back.
We got horses.
We got horses. So now we're going to a better option than last year. We're putting up some barbed wire. See if we can get them out, at least keep us a spot to feed. Anybody that's dealt with hunting in horse or cow pastures know it's near impossible to keep them from getting any stuff, but we done it with ropes, so surely we can do it with barbed wire. Alright, so didn't take but what, 15 minutes? 10 minutes? It's a pretty quick job. We just roped off a small area here. You can kind of see it. Took a barbed wire just a piece off here. You know, pretty good section. Roped up and around and over. I'm like, so we've got a beautiful ridge up here. We've got a ground blind over there, but that having to put the barbed wire up kind of cancels out any chance of using the ground blind. So to the air we go for sure. Right there. Right there, overlooking this spot here. Probably be it.
20 yards.
Yeah, 20-yard shot if that.
So now we're going to turn our focus to the big farm. We've got the other farms planted and ready to go, and now comes the big farm. We've got 4 food plots that we're going to do on this farm, and we're going to mix it up a little bit, and that way we've got a variation of stuff planted, and we'll have palatability all through the deer season. So we start out with the top field, and we plant it strictly in soybeans. And the reason we're doing that is more for early season attraction. This has traditionally been a great spot to hunt in the early season, and we plant those soybeans, get them up a little better than knee high, and they start bushing out. And when bow season opens, this field is one of the best spots on the whole farm. The deer just flood in there, they eat on the beans, and we usually don't have enough left for late season because they've already mowed the whole field down. Just in case you guys are wondering, this is not in slow motion. This is actually happening this slow. Dad has found a super slow gear on the tractor. And we're having to time lapse by the sun because we don't have a watch that goes that slow right now. Hopefully he gets this done before dark. We ain't got but about 3 hours till dark, so maybe we'll get this one planted tonight. And I'm about 50-50 sure he's asleep right now on that tractor. What was it Mountain Man said on Duck Dynasty? You pay for the whole seat, but you only need the edge. Alright guys, we're down here at the bow blind spot that Christian hunted at the end of season 1. Putting out some supplemental feed here, some corn and some Big and J. We just got done planting a bean field up on top of the mountain over there, out there near Dad's house. So we're going to do some supplemental feeding. This time of year, right in the middle of horn growing season, we're trying to keep as much food out as possible. Being where we're at, it is legal to bait, and we do not have a lot of supplemental agriculture here, so they don't have a lot to eat. They can't really eat Christmas trees. That's about all the agriculture there is in this area. So what we do is scatter some corn out, put a little bit of corn in the trough, then we take the Big and J and put it over the top of the corn, and it really charges that corn up. It makes them come into it. You can see underneath that feeder. Big and J, BB squared here, and we're just putting it out on top of this corn. And this really adds a lot of attractant factor to this stuff. The smell of this stuff brings stuff in from animals in from all over. We will have deer, bear, raccoons, everything coming in here. This feeder's actually leaning a little bit from the last bear that was sitting up here eating. So we're gonna have some, hopefully some big old bucks coming in here eating this stuff. Be able to pattern one for the fall. Help him build those horns for this fall, and then we're gonna go after him. So see how it goes. Well, we've got a protein feeder out here, and I'm currently out of protein feed other than the Big and J, so throw a little corn in on top of it to get us through the week until I can get some more of that protein, and then we're going to put some more Big and J out on the ground. We've got a spot right here where we've been putting Big and J out, and they have been absolutely tearing it up. And we're in another spot that I sprayed last week. Right next to the pasture. That's actually where Parker killed her deer last year, but we're going to plant this and turnips and stuff this fall, but we're going to give it a little while before we do that. So right now we're just keeping plenty of food out, keeping plenty of minerals out, and just trying to give these deer everything they need to put on as big a rack as possible. And then we have CJ's field, which is down below the soybean field, down in a holler. This is a spot that I normally plant turnips and sugar beets and stuff for late season attractant. We don't generally hunt that spot during bow season, so we aim it more toward rifle season. So we have the later season attractants in there, and it just gives a really good food source all throughout the year. We are still working food plots, and it is time to put some seed in the ground. I've got this pretty little kill plot over here back in the woods. We call this CJ's field. CJ was my older brother. We actually got in some yellow jackets whenever I dished this plot up, and I have found them there, right over there in the ground. That is not where I expected them to be, because every time I got stung was right over there, but I guess it took them that long to chase the tractor. But either way, we have a very large rain event coming in this week. Now normally you would see a big old set of fence on the back that I would drag these plots in with. This plot's not cut in that soft, it's fairly soft, but I'm planting, today we're planting sugar beets, beets and greens, and turnips. We got 4 fields to do. They're all smaller plots like this. We're going to just mix it up, but with these smaller seeds you don't have to do a whole lot of covering. We normally just drag, but we've got a forecasted 8 inches of rain coming in this week, so I'm just going to rely on the rain to beat it on into the ground. I'm going to get these things spread. It's starting to get a little cloudy, especially back over that way. So I'm going to get these things in the ground, and we're going to do our late season plots today. I've got seed coming to do our early season plots. Our brassicas and stuff are coming in first of the week, so we'll get those in the ground on Monday. I've already got the plots tilled up, so well, one of them tilled up. I'm gonna do the other one this afternoon. but that's what we're doing right now. This is part 4, I guess, of the food plots, 4-ish. It's an ongoing process, but we're almost to the finish line, so stick with us. All right, guys, we've moved on to our 3rd food plot over here. This is a spot that will forever hold a place in my heart. This is the plot where Parker killed her first deer last year. This is right down below my house. As you can see, this is pasture right here. This is our little over our wintertime pasture, and her deer was standing right there, and we had a blind up on the hill next to that tree, next to that Christmas tree, when she killed it last year. So this pasture out here is full of clover, so this is a great spot anyway. And I've not mowed it off because it's been really good bedding for the fawns this summer. There's been fawns bedded in here every night. But anyway, I decided to do a little more with this plot this year. There's a protein feeder over on the wood line. I don't know if you can see it or not. We've been feeding protein all winter right here, and decided to plant a food plot for gun season. Maybe she can get her 2nd deer here too, so I'm gonna get it done. I just heard thunder. She's a moving in on us. Get this knocked out. Well, guys, I'm out of breath. That's the last one, and we're done. And it's just in the next time, because there's a thunderstorm rolling up. This one here is literally in the back door of my barn, but it's an open spot and it should make a good plot. Right there's my barn. But the good thing about this one is we're just a hop and a skip around the corner from where Parker killed her deer last year. There's a clump of trees right here we may have to do something with, but I think we can set up the blind on the fence again and see both spots, because if you get right here, you guys can hear that thunder. Right down there's the other plot that we just did. So we got one right over there and one right there. Clover growing like crazy in here, so this should be a money spot. And it's right here next to the house, so it's even better. But that is it for this phase of food plots up here. Like I said, we'd normally drag it in with a wire drag, but we're planting small seeds, and as soft as this ground is, I've done a better job of getting it cut in than I thought. The Roundup hadn't completely killed everything, but everything you see in that plot is dead. It has been sprayed across the bow and Roundup, and it is dead. So if it rains like they say it's going to rain this week, we should be in good shape. It'll drive that seed into the ground a little bit, and hopefully she'll green up here in a couple weeks. Come November, she'll be ready for rifle season. So we're gonna go get the tractor, cut in another one, and stick with us.
This episode of Appalachian Holler Hunters is brought to you by Bone Collector Game Calls, Real Tree, Reveal Game Cameras, Onyx Hunt, Mountaineer Outfitters, Big and J Attractants, NAP Broadheads, Federal Ammunition, Garmin, Elk River Supply, and Scent Crusher.
So now that we have all the deer fields planted, we've already got the equipment out and we've already got the disc hooked up. So we decided we're going to cut out the bottom section of the cornfield and we're going to plant it in sunflower seeds. One of our favorite things to do to get the hunting season started is get a bunch of our friends together and have a big dove hunt. So we plant the sunflower seeds. We actually planted a few soybeans to go right beside it, and we've got us a killer place for opening day of dove season.
Alright, opening day of dove season here at Mountaineer Outfitters. I'm set up down here close to the pond. Got Shane and Sam sitting together, halfway up the field, Joe and his boy. A little farther up in this cornfield, and then on the back side of the cornfield got Dawson. And then got a handful of other boys around the building on the other side. So getting daylight, just shot it a couple of seconds ago. Stick with us here.
Austin's got one on the power line. Shooting Austin off the power line. He's got to be right there, ain't he? Yeah. Shoot it. Shoot it. Yeah.
Haha!